I always knew Victoria would find a way to steal my thunder, even on her own engagement day. That's just who my sister is, the center of the universe, at least in our family's eyes. But I never expected her to take my perfectly tailored designer suit for her wedding announcement party. I'm Evelyn Mitchell Evie to the few who really know me, and I've spent 32 years being the other daughter, the one who's analytical instead of charismatic, dependable instead of dazzling. Tonight, at Victoria's engagement party in the grand ballroom of the Preston Hotel, I'm watching the familiar scene unfold like a financial report I've reviewed 1,000 times, every detail predictably falling into place. "Oh, darling, you look absolutely radiant," Mom gushes, adjusting Victoria's expertly styled hair. Her fingers linger on the designer pearl earrings, a gift she bought Victoria last Christmas, while I received a gift card to a department store. James is such a catch. I knew from his investment portfolio that he was perfect for you. I take another sip of champagne, trying not to focus on how she barely acknowledged my engagement to Marcus 6 months ago. He works at a tech startup, she'd asked dismissively, despite Marcus being a successful software architect. "Evie, honey, could you check on the catering numbers?" Dad calls out, barely glancing in my direction. Even at Victoria's engagement party, I'm relegated to spreadsheets and calculations. "I'll help," Marcus whispers, squeezing my hand. Thank God for him, he understands the language of numbers and silence just like I do. In the hotel's service corridor, I start reviewing the catering invoice while Marcus opens his tablet to cross-reference the guest count. "You okay?" he asks, his voice carrying that soft concern I've grown to love. "I'm fine, it's just..." I pause, analyzing my words like I would a complex data set. Sometimes I wonder if they see past their own projected expectations to who I actually am. "Hey," Marcus pulls me close, his familiar scent of coffee and clean cotton grounding me. "I see you. The brilliant financial analyst who put herself through MBA school, who can break down complex market trends like they're simple math. You're the most impressive person I know." A burst of laughter from the ballroom interrupts our moment. I peek around the corner to see Victoria holding court, champagne flute raised, telling the story of her proposal with the precision of a well-rehearsed performance. And then James orchestrated this incredible flash mob outside the NYSE right after the closing bell. Victoria's voice carries across the room. All these traders in suits suddenly breaking into dance, and he got down on one knee right there on Wall Street. It's like something out of a movie. Mom sighs, dabbing at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. I remember Marcus's proposal, thoughtful and perfect in its simplicity. He'd created a custom financial planning app for our future, embedding the proposal in the projection charts. Mom's response? "At least you're being practical about marriage, Evie. Where are those catering numbers?" Victoria's voice cuts through my thoughts. "We need to know if we're over budget." I gather the invoices and head back out, my professional mask firmly in place. That's when I hear it, the conversation that shifts everything like a market crash. "Speaking of budgets," Victoria is saying to Mom, her voice dropped to a calculated whisper, "I was thinking about Evie's suit." I freeze just outside the doorway, years of training keeping my body perfectly still. "The one she had custom made for her wedding?" Mom asks. "The McQueen? It really is exquisite. And since she's not getting married until next year." "My announcement party is next week," Victoria continues, "and that suit would be perfect for the press photos. The market's been a bit volatile, and with the new penthouse deposit..." "Well, I'm sure she wouldn't mind," Mom says with that familiar dismissive wave. "You are her sister, after all, and it would photograph beautifully with your complexion." My fingers tighten on the invoices, crinkling the crisp paper. The suit I'd invested in after landing my biggest client, the one I'd carefully selected to represent both my professional success and personal style. The one I was paying for myself because Mom had redirected my wedding budget to Victoria's more immediate needs. I'll talk to her about it tomorrow, Victoria continues, confidence radiating from her like a bull market. She'll understand. She always does. After all, she's good with practical things. I walk into the room, setting down the catering papers with the precision of closing a major deal. The ice sculpture catches the light, sending fractals across the elegant tablecloths. Everything balanced? Dad asks, finally looking up from his phone. I meet Victoria's eyes across the room. She has the practiced poise of someone who's never heard the word no, that familiar entitled assurance that makes my analytical mind start calculating probabilities and outcomes. Everything's perfectly calculated, I say, my voice is steady as a blue-chip stock. To the last decimal point. Riley, my best friend since our MBA days, catches my eye from across the room. She's known me long enough to read the tension in my portfolio perfect posture, the slight downtick at the corners of my mouth. She raises an eyebrow in question, and I give her the smallest shake of my head. Not now. Because now, watching Victoria bask in the glow of our family's perpetual bull market of attention, something shifts in my careful calculations. Years of being the undervalued asset, overlooked for promotion in the family hierarchy, crystallize into a single, clarifying moment of market correction. My sister wants my wedding suit? Fine. But this time, the numbers won't add up the way she expects. This time, I'm done being the conservative investment, the safe bet, the one who always hedges her position. This time, Victoria's perfect announcement is going to face a hostile takeover. The next morning, I was reviewing my quarterly projections when the doorbell rang. I already knew who it was. Victoria never could wait when she spotted an asset she wanted to acquire. Evie. She breezed past me into my condo, her Louboutins clicking against the hardwood floors, designer handbag swinging like a pendulum of privilege. I need to discuss something important. I kept scrolling through my spreadsheet. Coffee? No time. Listen, I've been thinking about your McQueen suit. She perched on my ergonomic office chair, all perfect posture and practiced charm. You know how my announcement party's coming up first, right? And that suit would be absolutely perfect for the press coverage. You want my wedding suit? I minimized my Excel window, turning to face her with the same calculated attention I give to high-stakes client meetings. Just to borrow. You're not using it for months anyway. She leaned forward, eyes wide with the same expression she'd used to secure her first series of funding. Come on, Evie, you know how important image is in this industry. Before I could respond, another knock. Mom, right on schedule, like quarterly earnings. Victoria had brought in her major stakeholder. Girls. I thought I'd find you both here. Mom swept in, carrying a garment bag from my closet at their house. Evie, honey, I picked up your suit. I thought we could do a quick fitting with Victoria right now. My throat tightened like watching a market crash in real time. They'd already executed their hostile takeover of my closet without a shareholder vote. I watched, frozen, as Mom unzipped the bag, revealing the crisp lines and perfect tailoring I'd fallen in love with. Mom. I managed, my voice as tight as an overvalued stock. You went into my room. Don't be so rigid, sweetie. We're family, Mom says, holding the suit up to Victoria, who's already shrugging off her Chanel blazer. Oh, it's perfect. The cut suits Victoria's frame much better, don't you think? I grab my phone, typing a quick message to Riley, SOS. Hostile takeover in progress. Need backup. I haven't approved this acquisition, I say, but they aren't listening. Victoria is already slipping into my suit, Mom adjusting the lapels with practiced precision. Oh my God. Victoria gasps, twirling in front of my floor-to-ceiling windows, Manhattan's skyline a perfect backdrop. It's like it was tailored for me. You look absolutely stunning. Mom gushes. Evie, isn't your sister going to make the perfect impression at the announcement? I stare at my suit, my investment, hugging my sister's frame. The suit I'd carefully selected after 3 months of market research, the one I'd imagined wearing while signing my own marriage contract with Marcus. Take it off, I say quietly, like a margin call. What? Victoria turns, her smile flickering like an unstable stalk. I said, take it off. It's my suit. I purchased it for my wedding. Mom sighs, that familiar sound of disappointment in a low-performing investment. Evelyn, don't be difficult. Your sister needs it first, and you know how crucial first impressions are in her position. Crucial to her? My voice rises like inflation rates. What about what's crucial to me? Just once. You're being unreasonable, Victoria says, smoothing the lapels with manicured fingers. It's just a suit, and you know I'll take better care of it than. The door bursts open. Riley stands there, her power suit as sharp as her market analysis, taking in the scene with narrowed eyes. What the hell is this hostile takeover? Perfect timing. Victoria beams. Riley, doesn't this suit look more appropriate on me? Riley walks straight to me, positioning herself like a defensive investment strategy between me and my family. Mrs. Mitchell, with all due respect, that suit belongs to Evie. You can't just liquidate her assets without consent. We're not taking it. Mom protests. We're leveraging family resources. Evie? Riley turns to me, her voice firm like a binding contract. What's your position on this? I look at my sister, commanding attention in my stolen suit, at my mother ever ready to back her golden investment, at my best friend, the only one who ever audits my true value. Keep it, I say finally, my voice is cold as a bear market. Evie. Riley starts. No, really, keep it, Victoria. You always manage a hostile takeover anyway. What's one more acquisition? Don't be so dramatic, Victoria rolls her eyes, adjusting the cuffs. I'll return it, in perfect condition, obviously. I'm sure you will. I meet her eyes in the reflection. I hope it yields exactly the returns you deserve. Mom claps her hands. See? That's the spirit. Now, Victoria, let's discuss the alterations. After they exit with my suit, Riley turns to me, her expression like she's analyzing a suspicious market trend. Tell me you're not really accepting this merger. I walk to my window, watching Victoria carefully load my suit into her Tesla Model S. You know what's fascinating about market corrections, Riley? Sometimes the biggest crashes come after the most inflated valuations. That look in your eyes. Riley says. I've seen it before, right before you shorted that overvalued tech stock. What's the strategy? I turn to her, a smile forming like a perfect algorithm. How much do you know about high-pressure water systems in luxury venues? Not much, but I'm ready to diversify my knowledge base. She grins. Are we about to execute a calculated risk? Not a risk, I correct, pulling up my laptop. Just a market correction. Did you know Victoria chose the same luxury venue where she once accidentally spilled red wine on my presentation suit right before my first major client pitch? The one with the state-of-the-art fountain system? Oh my God. Riley laughs. This is going to be a masterclass in karmic returns, isn't it? I start typing, accessing the venue's maintenance schedules with the same precision I use for market analysis. Let's just say, my suit isn't the only asset that's going to look perfect on Victoria's big day. You want me to what? Marcus stares at me across our breakfast bar, his morning coffee forgotten. Just keep James occupied during the announcement preparation? Take him for a tour of your tech startup, I repeat, sliding him his favorite market analysis report. That's all. While you and Riley do something to the fountain? He sets down his coffee, looking at me with the same careful attention he gives to debugging complex code. Evie, are you sure about this risk assessment? Riley sprawls on our leather couch, her laptop displaying the venue's schematics. Got it, she calls out. The maintenance logs show they service the fountain every Monday. That means it'll be exactly 3 days before the announcement when they do the final calibration. I squeeze Marcus's hand. Trust my analysis. I'm not going to do anything illegal or destructive. Just a minor system adjustment. Like the wine incident before my Goldman Sachs presentation, I raise an eyebrow when Victoria accidentally ruined my power suit right before my biggest pitch. Exactly like that. I pull up a chair next to Riley. Show me what you found. She turns the laptop toward me. The fountain runs on a smart system. All we need is access to the control interface for about 10 minutes, and I happen to know the override codes because my firm handles their risk assessment, she grins. I called in a favor from their IT department. They explained everything, pressure variables, timing sequences, the complete protocol. Simple recalibration, nothing permanent. Marcus comes to analyze the schematics over our shoulders. So when you say recalibration, just a slight increase in water pressure, I explain, running the numbers like a market projection, timed perfectly for the press photos, when Victoria is standing there in my suit, right in front of the fountain. Maximum return on investment. Riley finishes with the flourish of a successful trade. You're both insane, Marcus says, but I can see his programmer's mind appreciating the elegant logic. And I'm probably going to help for finding this algorithm beautiful. My phone buzzes, a message from Victoria, final fitting tomorrow. Mom says you should come show sisterly support. Speaking of calculations, I mutter, showing them the message. Perfect. Riley sits up straight. While you're at the fitting, I can audit the venue security. The event coordinator already knows me as your +1 anyway. And I'll take James for a startup tour, Marcus adds. Maybe casually suggest the fountain backdrop would be perfect for the press photos. I look at him in surprise. You're investing in this plan? He pulls me close, kissing my forehead. Babe, I've watched them undervalue your worth for years. If this is how you need to rebalance the portfolio, I'm your market maker. Just promise me you won't create any permanent depreciation. Promise. I hug him tight. It's just water. Expensive suit, water. But still, just a market correction. The next day, I sat in the luxury boutique, watching Victoria preen in my suit. She'd already had it taken in, the tailoring adjusted to her specifications. It needs more impact. Mom declares. Maybe we could add some statement cufflinks? Mom, no. I start, but Victoria is already nodding. Brilliant idea. Nothing too aggressive, just enough to dominate the news cycle. Evie, you don't mind, right? We'll cover the modifications. I think about the fountain, about perfect timing and market corrections. Whatever you think is best, Victoria. It's your announcement after all. My phone lights up with a message from Riley, venue security mapped. Wait until you see where they keep the control center. This arbitrage is practically gift-wrapped. Evelyn? Mom's voice cuts through my calculations. Are you even listening? We're discussing the modifications. Sorry, I smile with the precision of a perfectly balanced ledger. Just running some numbers for my own wedding plans, for next year. When I was supposed to wear that suit. A flicker of doubt crosses Victoria's face, like a momentary market dip. Then she's back to bull market confidence. Oh please, you can find another suit. This one was clearly meant for my portfolio. Look how perfectly it positions my brand. I have to admit, she does look impressive, like a blue-chip stock at its peak. Too bad about the upcoming correction. My phone buzzes again. Riley, timing sequence locked. During the press photos. You'll need to be positioned by the east column. That's your execution point. What are you smiling about? Victoria asks, adjusting the lapels. Just thinking about your perfect announcement, I say truthfully. I can't wait to see the final returns. Mom beams, proud of my apparent market surrender. That's the spirit, honey. Family assets first, right? Right, I agree, typing back to Riley, all variables confirmed. Operation Market Correction is a go. I watch Victoria admire herself in the mirror, remembering every hostile takeover, every time she'd acquired something that was mine, every moment our parents had prioritized her portfolio over mine. In 1 week, she'd have her perfect announcement, in her perfect venue, wearing my perfect suit. And for once in our shared market history, I'd be controlling the algorithms. The night before the announcement party, our family gathered at Mom and Dad's penthouse for what Mom called a strategic planning dinner. I knew what that meant, another Victoria IPO. Remember Evie's first trading job? Victoria laughs, swirling her aged Bordeaux. When she tried to present at my client meeting? It was my client meeting, I correct, analyzing my Wagyu with surgical precision. My first major hedge fund pitch. You just decided you needed to present there too. Was it? Victoria frowns. Mom, wasn't that my account? Mom pats Victoria's hand. Darling, does it matter? You girls have always shared market opportunities. Shared, I mutter, like a depreciated asset. Marcus squeezes my knee under the Italian marble table. Speaking of shares, Dad says, raising his crystal glass, I want to make a toast to my brilliant daughter on the eve of her big announcement. Victoria, you've always been our prime investment. I set down my fork with the precision of a stock market halt. The room goes quiet. Evelyn, Mom's voice, carries a margin call warning. No, please, continue, I say, my voice is measured as a quarterly report. Tell us more about your prime investment. Maybe about how she shared my Goldman Sachs interview slot? Or how about when she borrowed my client presentation before I could even rehearse it? That's ancient trading history, Victoria waves dismissively. Why are you being so bearish? Bearish? I laugh, cold as a market freeze. You're wearing my wedding suit tomorrow. Girls. Dad intervenes. Let's not disrupt market stability. My phone buzzes. Riley, systems check complete for tomorrow. Still bullish on this play? I look at my family, Dad, avoiding volatility as usual, my mom, managing Victoria's PR, and my sister, somehow managing to look both innocent and like a predatory investor at the same time. I need some fresh data, I announce, pushing back from the table. Marcus starts to rise, but I signal a hold position. I need to analyze this solo. In the penthouse terrace, I stand looking at the city lights, remembering the time Victoria had accidentally spilled coffee on my laptop before my first major pitch. A technical glitch, everyone had said, like everything else. Penny for your equity? I turn to see Dad, hands in his bespoke suit pockets, looking uncomfortable. Save it for Victoria's next startup funding, I say. He sighs, settling onto the terrace's designer bench beside me. You know, when you girls were starting out, your mother and I thought we were diversifying properly. Victoria was so aggressive in her positions. We figured you were the stable investment, the one who could handle being the safe play. And that makes the constant devaluation okay? He says quietly, it doesn't. We sit in silence, the city's financial district glittering before us like a field of opportunities. That suit, he starts. Don't. I know you tried to intervene. I saw the emails, the attempts to redirect Mom's spending. He stares at his Italian leather shoes. I should have been a better risk manager. Yeah, I agree. You should have. My phone lights up again, Riley confirming tomorrow's execution timeline. I think about the fountain, about market corrections, about justice. Dad, I say suddenly, do you remember my first hedge fund presentation? He winces. The coffee incident. Victoria said it was a market fluctuation. It wasn't. She told me later she did it because she thought I was attracting too much institutional interest. And now she's wearing my suit, the one asset I wanted that was purely mine. I stand up, straightening my blazer. So tell me, Dad, what would your risk assessment be? He looks at me for a long moment. Something's going to correct tomorrow, isn't it? I meet his gaze with the steady confidence of a trader who knows her positions. Maybe the market's finally reaching equilibrium. He nods slowly, then reaches into his suit and pulls out a certified check. Here. What's this position? Your suit. The one you acquired yourself. Whatever happens tomorrow, you deserve your own bull run. I stare at the check, my throat tight as a margin call. Little late for portfolio rebalancing, don't you think? Better late than an eternal bear market. He attempts a smile. Just maintain some circuit breakers tomorrow, okay? Your mother's portfolio isn't as stable as it used to be. I tuck the check into my blazer pocket. Don't worry, Dad. All variables will perform exactly as they should. Back inside, Victoria is showing Mom her borrowed assets, a pair of Cartier cufflinks from James's mother. The irony makes me want to short the entire family portfolio. Evie, she calls out. There you are. I need you to help me with the final suit adjustments tonight. One last sisterly collaboration before the big market open. I think about the fountain, about market corrections, about Dad's belated attempt at portfolio rebalancing. For a moment, my algorithm wavers. Then Victoria adds, the suit might need a few more modifications. You don't mind if we make some more structural changes, right? And just like that, my trading strategy locks into place. Of course not. I smile with the precision of a perfectly executed trade. Tomorrow should yield optimal returns. Marcus catches my eye across the room, raising an eyebrow in a silent risk assessment. I give him a slight nod. The execution plan is still active. Tomorrow, market correction would make its scheduled appearance, right on prospectus. The venue looked like the NYSE trading floor on IPO day. Crystal chandeliers reflected off marble surfaces, champagne flowed like bull market profits, and the fountain, our primary trading instrument, burbled innocently behind the press backdrop. Everything's calibrated, Riley whispers, joining me near the bar. I double-checked the algorithms. During the press statement, that fountain's going to execute a perfect market correction. I watch Victoria command attention in my suit, now adorned with gold cufflinks and subtle adjustments she'd added. Mom fusses over her hair while the PR team adjusts lighting positions. You're being awfully conservative, Evie, Mom notes. Everything balanced? Just monitoring market conditions, I smile, checking my phone. A text from Marcus, James is in position. Convinced him the fountain backdrop would maximize press coverage. Ladies and gentlemen, the PR coordinator announces. We're starting in 15 minutes. Please take your positions. Victoria grabs my hands, suddenly looking like a rookie trader before their first big play. You'll be in frame, right? As my sister and chief analyst? For a split second, I see my sister, the real Victoria, not the aggressive trader she'd become. I remember us as interns, sharing market tips, supporting each other's plays, before the competition, before the constant acquisitions, before everything went bearish. Evie, her voice, carries a hint of volatility. Right in position, I assure her, pushing the memories into a dormant account. Where else would I place my assets? The music starts, a sophisticated jazz quartet setting the mood for high-end transactions. I take my position, watching as the financial journalists and photographers arrange themselves like day traders finding their best angles. Riley squeezes my arm as she passes, whispering, "East column. Don't forget your execution point." Then comes Victoria, radiant in my suit, Mom and Dad flanking her like proud institutional investors. The crowd murmurs appreciatively. I follow, counting steps like trading intervals, watching the fountain spray catching the morning light. The announcement begins. I barely register the PR team's opening statement, too focused on timing, on monitoring the water pressure, on the way my suit catches the camera flashes on Victoria's frame. And now, a special announcement from Victoria Mitchell, newly appointed managing director, the PR head announces. James speaks first, his words crafted for maximum market impact. I almost feel bearish about what's coming. Almost. Then Victoria starts speaking. James and I represent a perfect merger of talents and assets, she begins, her voice carrying that familiar note of assumed victory. I catch Dad's eye from the front row. He gives me a slight nod, like a seasoned trader acknowledging an inevitable correction. And I promise to always maintain our position as market leaders. My phone vibrates. Riley's signal. I shift toward the east column. And with this new position, the fountain's spray pattern adjusts microscopically. A few photographers glance back, noticing the shift in ambient noise. We're thrilled to announce. Victoria continues, beaming. The PR head raises his hand for the final photo opportunity. 3, 2, 1. A massive surge of water shoots upward, catching the morning sun like 1,000 Bloomberg terminals. For one crystalline moment, it's beautiful as a perfect market peak. Then gravity initiates the correction. The water descends like a bear market crash, drenching Victoria, James, and the entire executive team. Her suit transforms from perfectly tailored to completely liquidated in seconds. Her expertly styled hair collapses like a failed IPO. The added cufflinks catch the water like trading signals gone wrong. My suit, she screams. The fountain. Someone call maintenance. Chaos erupts like a market panic. Guests scatter like spooked investors, some running for cover, others trying to hedge their positions. The PR team frantically radios for technical support. The control panel, someone shouts. Where's the emergency shutdown? This is a disaster. Mom cries, trying to shield Victoria with a press folder. Who could have engineered this? I catch Riley suppressing her laughter behind a marble column. Marcus, standing with the executives, maintains his perfect poker face. Wait. Victoria says suddenly, turning to face me, her mascara running like red ink on a quarterly report. You're the only one who's maintaining position. The fountain sputters to a stop, but the damage is priced in. My suit clings to her like a failed merger, the added modifications hanging like devalued assets. What are you implying? I ask with the innocence of a clean audit. It's just a technical malfunction. Like your laptop crash was just a glitch, she hisses, low enough for only me to hear. We stare at each other, years of market competition and portfolio raids crystallizing in that moment. She knows. I know she knows. She knows that I know she knows. Well, I say quietly, I guess some assets are just meant to be leveraged, right? You calculating little. Victoria, darling. Mom interrupts, rushing over with more press packets. Let's get you to the executive washroom. We can still stabilize this position. As they hustle her away, I hear her say, I want Evie's credentials revoked. Now. I catch Dad's eye again. He shakes his head slightly, but I detect the ghost of a market maker's smile. The PR coordinator approaches me, looking like he's facing an SEC audit. We need about an hour to recalibrate. Could you help manage stakeholder expectations? Of course, I say. After all, it's my sister's perfect announcement. What else could possibly destabilize the market? Behind me, thunder rumbles ominously. I hadn't factored in weather derivatives, but sometimes market corrections have their own algorithms. The next hour was pure market volatility. While the PR team scrambled to move everything into the backup venue, I watched from the covered terrace as storm clouds rolled in. Perfect timing wasn't just a correction anymore, it was a full market reset. Did you manipulate the weather futures too? Riley appears beside me, holding 2 flutes of crystal. That's all macroeconomic forces, I say, accepting a glass. Though I appreciate their market sentiment. Inside, I can hear Victoria's market panic echoing from the executive washroom. It's ruined. The suit is ruined. The entire announcement is ruined. Speaking of market volatility, Riley mutters. The door bursts open, and Mom storms out like an angry fund manager. Evelyn. Damage control, now. I hand my champagne back to Riley. Time to face the shareholders. The executive washroom looks like a trading floor after a crash. My suit, now a sad, waterlogged asset, lies crumpled in the corner. Victoria sits in her silk slip, mascara-stained face buried in her manicured hands, while 3 PR assistants frantically try to salvage her market image. Fix this. Mom demands. Fix what? I ask, examining my trading charts. The market corrects itself. Don't play analyst with me, Victoria spits, looking up. You orchestrated this short sell. Prove it. I don't need proof. You're the only one who maintained position. You were standing by that column, watching the execution. Fortunate market timing, I shrug. Like when you crashed my laptop before my hedge fund pitch? Or when you accidentally deleted my client presentation before I could deliver it? Or how about when you borrowed my prime trading hours? That was different. Victoria stands up, sending hairpins scattering like falling stock prices. Those were market fluctuations. Were they? I step closer. Or were they just you always needing to dominate market share, always acquiring my assets? Girls, Mom starts. No, Mom, I cut her off. Let's audit this. Let's analyze how Victoria took my suit, the one I capitalized myself. How you helped her acquire it. How you've both always leveraged my assets because family portfolio and Victoria needs better market position. I needed that suit. Victoria screams. It was perfect for my image. Thunder crashes outside, making everyone jump like a surprise rate hike. In the silence that follows, I can hear whispers from the investors in the hallway. You want to know something interesting about market analysis? I say, my voice dropping to trading floor levels. I actually considered canceling the correction right before execution. Watching you make your announcement, I almost pulled my position. But you didn't, Victoria says bitterly. No, because some traders need to learn they can't keep making hostile takeovers without facing market consequences. Consequences, Mom's voice shakes. Evelyn, do you understand what you've done? You've crashed your sister's announcement. No, Mom, I counter with precision. I corrected her leveraged position. There's a difference. A knock at the door. Dad peeks in like a cautious investor. The stakeholders are getting restless. What should I tell them? Victoria bursts into fresh tears, a bear market in full swing. Oh, stop being so dramatic, I say, surprising myself with my market confidence. Your suit is temporarily devalued, not delisted. The venue has industrial dryers. You can still make your announcement in a depreciated asset. She shrieks like a crashing stock. Better than a total portfolio loss, I point out, which is what I'll have for my wedding now. Dad clears his throat. About that position. I made some calls. That boutique you originally invested in. They're holding a new suit for you. Different model, but they say it's an even stronger asset. Everyone turns to stare at him like he's just announced a surprise bull market. You what? Mom asks. It was the least I could do, he says, meeting my eyes, after all the undervaluation. Victoria looks between us, her market analysis finally catching up. You knew, she accuses Dad. You knew she was planning this correction. I knew something was coming, he admits. Can't say I questioned her trading strategy. This is market manipulation, Mom sputters. We're family. We're supposed to maintain stable positions. Exactly, I say. Maintain stability, not execute hostile takeovers, not always prioritize one trader over another. Another knock, the PR coordinator this time. The recovery team is ready, and we've reconfigured the backup venue. It's actually quite impressive with the storm as backdrop. Should we proceed with the announcement? Victoria looks at her reflection in the mirror, makeup liquidated, hair a market crash, my suit hanging like a defaulted bond on its hanger. Then she looks at me. You know what? Yes, we'll proceed. She stands straighter, like a stock finding its support level. Get me stabilized, fix my market image, and let's execute. But Evie. She pauses, eyes hard as diamond futures. After today's trading session, we're done. Sister or not, our markets are decoupled. I nod, feeling oddly bullish. Seems like a fair valuation. Need help with your recovery strategy? Get out. I turn to leave, then pause at the door. For what it's worth, Victoria, I really did value that suit. Outside, Riley waits with our rescued champagne. Well, she asks as I take my glass back. The announcement will proceed, I say, but I just got delisted from the family exchange. No, Riley corrects, clinking her glass against mine, you just executed your own IPO. The rain continues to fall, washing away old market positions. The indoor announcement proceeds as planned, though not quite the blue-chip event Victoria had projected. My suit, while mostly dried, has lost its prime market value, the added embellishments hanging limply, some completely devalued. Still, she walks to the podium with high-frequency trading confidence, deliberately avoiding my market sector. I stand at the back, no longer part of the executive team. Marcus has his arm around my waist, providing stable support. Portfolio holding steady, he whispers. Before I can report, Mom appears beside us. Evelyn, we need to analyze this position. Not during market hours, Mom. Yes, now. She grabs my arm like a margin call, pulling me toward an empty conference room. Marcus starts to follow, but I signal a hold position. In the executive conference room, Mom's expression is pure regulatory authority. How could you execute this, she hisses. Your own sister? That's rich coming from the primary market maker. I lean against the mahogany wall, suddenly tired of trading. When was the last time you actually valued me as an independent asset, Mom? Not just Victoria's hedge, not just the stable position, but your daughter? Don't try to reverse this trade. You deliberately crashed her announcement. It's still executing, I cut in. She's still announcing. The only thing I corrected was her leveraged position in my acquired asset. It wasn't leveraged, it was a family asset transfer, Mom insists. Without authorization, without proper documentation, just like every other position in our family portfolio, I counter. And you know what the worst part of this market analysis is? You don't even see the pattern. That's not accurate market data. Really? When Marcus proposed, you barely acknowledged the merger. When I acquired my suit with my own capital, you helped Victoria take it. When was the last time you were bullish on my position, Mom? Just me, not compared to Victoria's market cap? From the main hall, we hear applause. The announcement must have executed successfully. Well, Mom straightens her Chanel jacket. I hope you're satisfied. Your sister will never clear another trade with you. Maybe not, I agree, but for the first time since I entered the market, I'm trading on my own terms. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm done trying to be the perfect hedge, the risk-free position, the one who always provides market support. I'm done being an undervalued asset. Dad appears at the door. They're about to start the photo session. Evie, maybe you should close your position. I nod, but Mom grabs my arm again like a failing stop-loss. This market correction isn't over. Actually, it is. I gently remove her hand. I've already called the boutique. They're holding a new position for me, one that's properly registered in my name. Dad's right, it's time to exit this trade. You're choosing to leave your sister's announcement? Mom asks incredulously. I'm choosing to manage my own portfolio. Maybe for the first time ever. I find Marcus and Riley by the service exit. Through the windows, I can see the rain has stopped, leaving the market fresh and reset. Ready to execute? Marcus asks. Wait. Dad's voice behind us. He holds out another envelope. Your mother, she doesn't understand market dynamics yet, but I do. Take this position. Inside is another certified check, enough for 2 bespoke suits. Dad. Get whatever assets you want, he says gruffly. Whatever yields the best returns. And Evie. I apologize for the poor risk management. I hug him, breathing in the familiar scent of his signature cologne. I know. Will you join us for Sunday's quarterly review? He asks. I don't think that's a profitable position. Not for a while. He nods like a trader accepting a loss. We'll develop a new strategy. Maybe just you and me can review positions sometimes. I'd value that. As we walk to the car, I hear Victoria's voice carrying across the parking garage. Where is she? She can't just exit without proper notification. Watch this liquidation, I mutter. Riley links her arm through mine like a secure trading partnership. So, suit shopping tomorrow? Actually, I smile, feeling my portfolio finally balancing. I'm thinking of a completely different position. Something totally outside the family trading strategy. Marcus laughs. Now that's a merger I'd like to analyze. We drive away as the photographers arrange Victoria's executive team by the now peaceful fountain. In my rearview mirror, I watch my sister adjust my borrowed suit one last time, still trying to maximize an imperfect position. You know what's fascinating about market psychology? I say as we turn onto Park Avenue. I actually feel more liquid. That's what happens when you stop hedging someone else's risks, Riley says with a trader's wisdom. My phone buzzes, a text from Dad, proud of your trading strategy, kiddo. Always have been. Maybe some positions had to be liquidated before they could be properly revalued. Maybe sometimes the best market correction isn't a correction at all, but finally standing up and declaring your own trading strategy. And maybe, just maybe, market forces work in mysterious ways, not just to correct positions, but to establish fair value.